Hello, hello. Let's see. Both the Claymore Commandos. Claymore Commandos or Rangers? Rangers. They're commandos, but Rangers. Rangers is something different. I'm really not sure the definition. In World War II, there were Army Rangers, and they, I guess they were like elite infantry? I'm not sure. Let's see. The Claymore Rangers had come to provide reinforcements to the defenders of this office building. The recently taken office building. Unfortunately, the defenders were attacked and apparently wiped out before they reached them. A squad of Rangers, numbering 6, arrived at the perimeter. Most were wielding captured Jade assault rifles, but a few had Thompson SMGs as well. It seemed almost anachronistic. That's not the right way. Yeah, you hear you almost hear it in there, don't you? Anachronistic, inaccurate. It's a weird thing. And that crone in the center. Kronistan. Yeah, that could be a country. Country of old crones. Seemed almost anachronistic. In an era where everyone was slinging assault rifles. Even the Zedans. The Zedans had using various types, but most of their infantry were still using the semi-auto M1 Cloverfield rifle. Cloverfield? I love the M1 Garand. It's such a cool gun. Stops a Nazi dead in his tracks with one shot. I also discovered the existence of double guns, which are like 2 guns in one. Like you have two pistol barrels and one handle. I'm not sure how it works, but I think I'm gonna feature it in my stories. I have to insert it in this story because, well, you know, how come they had double guns in World War II but not in World War III? It's not really an error exactly, because a lot of the stuff we used in World War II wasn't used in the wars that came after, like Korea and Vietnam. A lot of it, some of it was, but a lot of it wasn't. Like, you know, it was all retired. A lot of different tanks and weapons, gear, that kind of stuff. But many commandos swore by the Thompson. The Thompson had just the right amount of firepower. But 2 had. But a few had. Had to check that. Let's see. I just finished watching the anime Outlaw Star. Recommend it. Very good. I only saw the subtitle version, not the dubbed. It probably doesn't matter. It's, you know how language is. You don't know how languages are going to be in the future. Is it more or less realistic that people thousands of years ago would speak English or Japanese or Chinese? Who knows what language will be around? Probably, maybe even a new one by then. Look how much language has changed just with English in the course of this century. Junk used to just mean a pile of garbage somewhere. That means someone's, you know. Of course, I still use junk in the original meaning. I've never used junk in the current slang version. Thompson just ran out of firepower. Knock down a Jade. 45 cal rounds just cut through onion armor like it was thin plastic. Blastic. I guess I gotta come up with a new term for plastic, since this is another universe. Ugh. I had something on my lip, some kind of boil or something. I think what you're supposed to do when you have something like that is to ignore it. It goes away on its own eventually, I guess. Let's see. Just onion armor like it was thin plastic. The Claymore Rangers, at least this little squad of them, was led by Lieutenant Bob Booth and Sergeant Deza Sergeant. Is he a staff sergeant? You should call a person by their full rank when you introduce them. I introduce characters repeatedly because I go back and forth. So I put their ranks down in my outline so I remember what their ranks are. I should probably put down their one-word summary of their personality and maybe their weapon as well. I want to have a little consistency if I'm going to use new characters every scene. Or I could have new characters every scene and thus never have continuity errors. But who would read a story with 10,000 new characters every chapter? I guess that would make this feel more like a war, you know, because wars are fought by lots and lots and lots of people. Both of whom had E-1B rifles. They had turned up at the battle with AKs, but lost them. Lost them thanks to a couple of, but lost them. Bob got his rifle shot out of his hands, and it went into the Liverpool water along Liverpool, which he assumed was called the Sea of Liverpool. Well, probably wasn't. He doesn't willing to dive into the water to collect it, the rifle. It wasn't like it was some mate who jumped into the water, even though that rifle had been more dependable than many of Bob's mates. And Deza lost his AK thanks to some grenade. Didn't go off in his face, but it went off for this stack of crates, and that Desi was behind. The Desi Lou Productions. Desi was behind, and big crate fell right on Desi's head. Desi had a tough head, which was why he woke up soon after getting whacked, instead of ending up in some 10-year coma. Not that Desi would have minded that too much, seeing how he had done his share of fighting Jade. He wouldn't have minded waking up to find out himself in the year 0058, fighting the J long defeated and some new threat on the rise. Maybe a new world war going on, such as like a war with the Vogons again, or maybe some damn aliens from Mars. Does he imagine he wouldn't get involved in that fight? Fighting in 2 world wars was enough for him. 3 if he counted his past life. He was pretty sure he was a soldier in the Great War as well. He had many dreams of running around some mucky, rainy trench with gunfire all around, with snipers opening up from the distance. Let's see. I wonder how they did that, sniping people from miles away with like a rifle with no scope on it. Who has eyes that great? Sounds damn near superhuman to me. Says he never dreamed of getting killed in the Great War. But, he never had dreams of life after it either. He assumed if he died, he was hit by some sniper bullets right in the head and went out instantly. As he assumed that was what death was like, at least when it came suddenly. One moment you're there, and there, the next you're gone. The next it's all dark and silent. Who turned out the lights? When Desi came to, he found himself without a rifle. He looked to the guerrillas with him. Neither was a white man. One was apparently a Wuian, dressed like some Wuian peasant from some village. Simple black tunic with a few buttons, matching slacks, wooden shoes. I don't know what Chinese shoes are made of. Leather, most likely. But do the poor peasants wear them? Dutch people aren't poor and they wear wooden shoes. Maybe wooden shoes are a symbol of status in China, way back when. China, lots of different traditions that often baffled Westerners when they saw them, like the old mystics with the long beards and the nails that are 9 inches long. And how can you do anything with fingers like that? Boggled my mind. I thought I had long fingernails when I have to grow a little unruly. It's good that your fingernails are always growing, because if they weren't, then when you broke them, that would be like you need to put something over your exposed nail bed, like gloves or something. I don't know. Does radiation sickness make you lose your fingernails? Probably the least of your problems if you got radiation sickness, but yeah, I think the joke is that it makes your hair fall out, your teeth fall out. You start bleeding all over real easy, like you're on those medicines that thin your blood, so you don't have heart trouble, all that stuff. Oh, and bloody diarrhea, of course. Remember these things, sir, if you ever have a scene when you're writing about people with radiation sickness. Let's see. The other fellow was black. It was black. But he could have been from anywhere. He was dressed in regular Western clothes. Both were probably dock workers. Both were wielding fog field bolt actions. The black fellow revealed a Punian accent when Deza asked him a question, and then he replied, "Where's my rifle, friend? My friend?" Booth asked. I almost said, "Where's my rifle, my black friend?" But I wonder if that would get the wrong impression, like that Booth might be prejudiced. I think one of the easiest ways to lose sympathy for a character is to depict them as either a racist or a blackmailer. Or maybe a rapist. I was gonna say murderer, but a lot of people can still like a character even if they're a murderer or an awful sort of criminal in other areas, you know. And it's amazing to me the characters I've sympathized with. People who in real life I'd be like, ugh, hope they throw the book at you, mother lover. Of course, if I wanted to be less politically correct, I mean, the 40s were a time of enormous racism, only surpassed by the decades before it. Yes, oppressed people who lived in the 1800s would probably look at the people who were oppressed in the 1930s and say, geez, these people, they have it made. They can have a job, they can drive a car, own their own house. I was gonna say they don't get murdered and people get away with it, but plenty of that happened in the 30s and long afterwards, so. Let's see. Where's my rifle, my friend? I didn't see a rifle. The Laconian replied. We got you out of there, quick. Good move, Both replied. Rubbed his head. Did the guys that whacked me get theirs? The Iconian's face lit up. He grinned merrily. Yes, they got theirs, sir. All of them. Iconian replied. The Wuian spoke up. Asked. In English. Replied. Also in English. I'm probably the only person uptight about noting what language people are speaking. You can assume if it's England that they're speaking English, usually. I assume in a lot of stories, if things are translated, it's just happening and you're not noticing it because everyone's like, well, you know, it's because, subtitles. Like, kind of like subtitles, like, you know, like they were actually speaking this language, but you're hearing it as English. Or Japanese in the case of an anime, like when they should, like they're in Russia, they should be speaking Russian, but everybody's speaking Japanese. It's a little weird. I'm sure there are a lot of writers who are even more uptight who do put down all the extra writing in English, German, Japanese when they're having a scene involving those things. So if it's accurate, who knows? I don't know how many writers are experts in languages. Some writers even come up with their own languages, so that seems pretty fruitless usually. I came up with a fictional language for the Jade in this story, but I keep losing my alphabet for it, so I keep losing the stuff. Let's see. Spoke up. Spoke up then. Plenty of rifles. Always around, sir. Sir. William said. his Wuyan accent pretty strong, but his English was good. Just grab one and join the line. Right. Both agreed. Blue stopped worrying about his head and grabbed a rifle for himself. E1B. He didn't know if this bump on the noggin was gonna kill him. Kill him or not. If it was bound to, wasn't anything he could do to save himself. Probably no brain surgeons in Liverpool. And even if there were, they were stuck in some jade hospital working for him. The jade. What? Why is this a problem? Oh, there was an extra space there. Let's see. Back to the perimeter of the office building. Let's see. Several rockets, RPG rockets, were fired through windows of both the ground floor and the second floor. Some rockets smashed hard into about... One rocket took out a whole room of jade up on the second floor. But unfortunately, a lot of debris, broken glass, and broken window frame rained down on the commandos. The rockets to the ground floor had hit the other sides of the building, away from the front. After that initial barrage, there were no more rockets. Maybe because one of the shooters noticed that commandos were about to storm the place. Commandos were tough, but not immune to RPGs. I'm going in. Grenades in the windows. Explosions. Check. Explosions. Action. Chaos on every page. It is like a video game from the early 90s made into a novel. Grenades in the windows. Both ordered. Yes, sir. The men replied. Chucked a trio of grenades through the nearest window. It bounced around in that first room, getting some screams of terror from the jade. Seemed so odd to hear the jade react like normal people. Well, and they were supposed to be so fearless, almost inhumanly fearless of death. Both himself supposed he was a bit inhuman in that way. But he was a bit inhuman. Suppose he was oddly fearless as well. But he still wanted to live. He wasn't a fatalist. He assumed it was the same with Deza. some reason I keep calling him Drew in my notes for this part. Oh, looky here, 25 minutes in. Have a nice day, folks. See ya.